we're catching the very last Route 58 tram along Domain and Park Street and Domain Road. It's the very last tram that will ever travel along this route.
Yeah, we know it's the last tram.
Yeah.
I remember not the tweed coat then. He might get on,
You probably get on it the further one down.
Right.
Joe, yeah. They'll never put it back in 5 years.
Yeah.
They won't. I reckon they'll leave it down on 2 rack.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it costs money to move it again.
Too much.
Wednesday week goes down 2 rack road all the way.
The next stop is Punch Road.
You can talk, Michael.
Can I?
Yeah.
This is the
Excuse me, I
last.
thought you were retired.
No, I haven't. This is the last tram along Park Street and Domain Road.
Why don't you try to make an announcement?
No, I haven't. I've already told the other night.
And you didn't care.
Could you,
No,
Michael, could you say to the camera that?
and whisper it.
The last.
Welcome aboard tram. What's the number?
3517.
3517, the very last tram, Route 58 to West Coburg, that will travel along Park Street and Domain Road. And from then, we are
The next stop
travelling
is
all the way down Toorak Road and into St Kilda Road. So there you have it.
Is that what the auto queue says?
The next stop is Toorak Road.
You're sad, are you? No. No, but they won't change it in 5 years. They'll leave it down to it. They won't ever put it back up. Is the tram driver crying?
I don't know, I'm just trying to see if the tram driver's getting emotional. For the last time. No, I think there's a bit of a chuckle.
The next stop is Bromley Place.
People have to and they don't need to.
Yep.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
The one place I never would have thought to see you. I was going to... I'm Ross. You may not have recognised because my avatar's not that good.
Right.
Oh, I didn't realise you were Trams as well. I didn't even mention it on the email.
Well, yeah, I'm Trams as well.
Right, now I'm going on to the Oxford Scholar, which is closing tonight. Now you're not a drinker, but it's your territory. So I'm not going to stay there for the final drinks and the final closing, but I'm going up there for half an
The next
hour.
stop is
Yeah.
If I was thinking about going, but the problem is if I go, I don't get the 10:07 train down in the morning like I should.
No, you can be on the 23:30 Ballarat.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I don't know. No, I'm not in any
Are you
hurry.
getting off at Domain Rod?
Well, yes, because I'm going in on a Swanson Street tram. I think, well, if everybody's going to ride through to, I can ride through to the Latrobe and walk 3 blocks.
So I'm happy with the light. So you want to go to line down on city? You stay on this or you pick?
I don't mind. So, I guess we'll go through. If you're happy to go through.
I'll go through and walk 3 blocks.
Yeah.
If that's what the good mood is.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, so is that Mr. Bromley?
No? No, that's Michael.
Oh,
Sorry, not the same street.
oh, hi, Mike. Oh, that's Rod Smith. Familiar names on bylines, and I thought when you come out on trips like this, you meet new faces. Well, at least you attach faces to names.
Yes, is that about it?
Everyone
Are
needs.
you see old friends?
Centralised, Route 58 trams will travel along St Kilda Road and to
I think I
West
guessed correctly.
rather than
Different in every avenue. You are Floyd.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say, perhaps I've been wrong there. Some surprise. Who's this guy? He looks different in every one. And I did look through that
this stop.
but it wasn't the one that you'd given before, because it was the start where the
Change
previous
here for tram routes
Right.
along
And that
St
is-
Kilda Road. This is a Route 58
Yeah.
to West Coburg. After the next stop.
Well, I'm going through to Trove Street, because the group mood says do that,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to walk up 3 blocks to the
Friday,
Oxford.
June 30
And
until
then
last train
just
Tuesday,
one
July
break.
11.
Yes, there'll be no trams up Trove Street.
No, walk up 3
Visit
blocks.
eurotrams.com.au for details.
Just because that's the group mood. And we've got 2 seconds to change our minds.
Yep.
Stay on this.
Yeah.
Then
I suppose I can come with you because I mean, I don't have to be down any set time. I'm not going just if I need to go home early, like 5 o'clock, so when it gets dark, I can.
have you parked a car at the station, or
when do
what
we
do you
say-
do when you get to Ballarat?
Yeah, I mean that's an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have say 2 beers.
Let him get his photos. I don't have to. I've got the coverage that I need, but.
Yeah, no, so we called the second one. Worked out well for us.
Sorry, is this? Oh, wait, is this Domain Interchange? Is it?
This is.
Go for a sponsor.
Stay on. Stay on, Robert.
Sorry, what are we doing?
Go for a sponsor or stay on.
Stay on.
Stay on, right? Good night. Good night. You were part of history.
It's all over.
I might
It's all over
even.
there, it's been cut, no more trams.
Oh, greetings.
Everyone's going back to edit, they're going to burn it.
Oh, well, I shall sit at the other stand and get the coverage.
That's right, yeah, so we're reading that.
Which I was, it's told me it's happening. It's going to happen. We're getting trams around it somehow, so more interesting video.
Yeah.
Compliment my earlier edition. The last time they did all this.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, so this thing goes back to Randwick the other way around and then they burn it. Don't even do one, I don't care.
well, in recent times, I was on the last
They choose a least developed
from
character.
Batman Avenue, and I was the guy who led the group singing in Old Lang Syne on that tram.
You would.
Don't know who. It wasn't my idea. Somebody pushed me into it.
Well, you still did it then.
So I didn't push you in front of it.
Yeah. And I was here.
No, we still want him around. Plenty of other people I'd like to push in front of the tram.
And my big claim for fame, which I've already mentioned to Conrad, was being on one of the last trams on north side Brisbane. There were 6 terminuses. Well, you could do only one of the 6. They were all leaving at the same time. But I was on the one that left last because somebody had stolen the tram controller. So we were not only the last one to leave a terminus, we were the last one to get into Light Street Depot.
Oh, okay.
I remember that as a bus depot. A couple of times.
So I couldn't be back for the final closure. That was then I was into the 3rd year uni. I just couldn't take the time off to be back for those April dates. But the December ones were really neat. I'd had the last meeting at uni on, I think, Friday afternoon. That night I was on the train to Sydney. The next night I was on a relief train to Brisbane. My uni
on the left side of the train.
And my mate was waiting at South Brisbane, and we just spent all of that day chasing trams and being on them. But they did something interesting for the last day in Brisbane. They were running all entirely drop centres on these 6 routes. Now these schedules were designed for 4 motor trams, so the poor, I checked that. No, the drop centres had air brakes by then. The handbrake drop centres had been removed. But the driver I had, and this is what fooled me for years, he was using the handbrake instead of the air brake just to show off. The point is, not only were the trams not performing as well as the 4 motors for which the schedules were written, he had to stop at every stop because everybody in Brisbane was out riding the trams. So you were doing a double whammy, and they were trying to cope, and it was breathless. And there was driver Saravalli. I've got his signature on my timetable. He was twirling the handbrake and twirling it off.
Yes.
It was a great day.
Those handbrakes were quite good if they were adjusted.
Oh yeah.
As I found out on the one at Berrymead.
Yeah.
That's a handbrake only car. And the driver gave me shall I say, a steer of it. I was only some years ago. I wish I'd stayed there the whole day. I could have really had a good drive of a tram. I've always wanted to do.
Well,
it felt good to actually not shifting up and do what the driver says and put on the handbrake and say, no, response to the handbrake noise. He said, okay, don't go on this point, this you off.
The next stop
Mark on the control. So go back and you thought you were in region. You don't want region.
Route 1.
He knew what he's talking about.
You'll let me know when we're at the right stop. Now, I was in Portugal once on the Centra tram, and they had magnetic track brakes, and I was quite interested in them. And it was a guy who could speak English. He was a Scot who does a summer season every year in Portugal. And I said, now I believe they're all or nothing. They grab, they're ferocious, they work, but you can't use them as a service brake. Rubbish, laddie, he said. Of course you can use them as a service brake, and he did for the next 10 minutes. And I was quite impressed.
Oh, okay.
It's first case you know how to use it.
Yeah, that they're not all
Drop
or
and
nothing.
release, drop and release.
Yeah. Because the beauty of a magnetic track brake is that it doesn't rely on adhesion of wheel to rail. You can't lock the wheels and skid. They're locking directly onto the rail.
Which is why it's an emergency brake today.
And that's one of the reasons for getting rid of catch points at our tram train crossings. Because there's no point derailing a tram with magnetic track brakes. They're now no longer on rails where the brakes can be applied. They're on concrete. And so that the relevance of a catch point has vanished.
Yes, I didn't even think about it until Brendan did there was a mention and then Brendan came up with a video. Shoot, I don't think the video until 1 hour after this, it's too late. All happened last weekend, we were busy with the steam tour.
Yep, yeah, that's right. And it went over time on Monday morning. I don't know how they can go over time, but they did.
No. So that's probably why they've allocated 11 days for this.
Right, yeah, well, I thought that was an overkill. All you have to do is cut in a junction. They've done other junctions
There's more to it. There's more to it. Track up Tuac Road is finished. There's a lot of work to do up Tuac Road.
That means, yeah.
There's a lot of services to be relocated. A lot of road work to be done.
In that case, they shouldn't have been doing it right now. The only reason I think they're taking 11 days is they're conjoining it with some of the starting work on the actual station that's nothing to do with trams. They're having the occupation for other parts of the whole package that aren't anything to do with the tramways at all. And hence the buses have to run.
Yeah, cut the machinery in place.
Yarra Trams calls it a third party work.
Oh yes, isn't that a nice cop out? Cupping your ass is called.
Yes.
Well, it's the same. A lot of the shutdowns on the Craigieburn line are nothing to do with railway work. It's all to do with the widening of the tollway. It's never called a tollway a freeway.
But that's the same on the when they do works on the Harbour Bridge. They'll say, oh yeah, there's traffic in the Harbour Bridge. It's not traffic on the Harbour Bridge at all. They're just using the rail corridor.
Where you want it on your street?
So it just says tram stop at City of Melbourne, which is a bit useless.
Well, no, I said there was roadworks on the Harbour Bridge. So they have lane 1 on the Harbour Bridge closed. So they've got somewhere to park with work vehicles. But you do the railway work.
And it can be
It's
busy.
out of 40 km on the post just annoyed the crap out of me.
My first time I ever drove to Queensland, I made a mistake of coming home through Sydney and thought middle of the day it'll be quiet.
How many years ago was this?
That was 71.
Wow.
But when I came in 78 with a friend's car, we carefully laid off at Dora Creek at a further friend's property at River, and we came through at 10 p.m. across the Harbour Bridge, and that was reasonable traffic, because amongst other things, that whole Pacific Highway leading into the Harbour Bridge is clearway, permanent clearway, and it's free flowing. Even though it carries a lot of traffic, it's free flowing. Got across the bridge, I was driving, got across the bridge, and one of the passengers said, "Oh, this is silly, we've come to Sydney and not seen the Opera House." And I thought, if you'd spoken 200 metres earlier, I could have turned in. I wanted to see the Opera House. Wah, wah, wah. Well, I did a brilliant job blindfolded navigating, turning through back streets in Redfern or wherever, and I got them to the Opera House. It was the triumph of my life was that blindfolded navigation.
Is there any plaque there to identify the fact that it used to be a tram depot?
No. There might be, but I've never gone that close. Actually, it's a theatre goes.
There's nothing, to my knowledge, that says what was here previously. This site is still referred to, in some cases, as Fort Macquarie.
No, I'm just getting there. You have them in there.
To my knowledge, there's no mention.
Just the orange tram stop.
Macquarie was only the second occupant of the site. Presumably it was a fort in colonial times.
Yeah, because of its prominent position.
And of course,
Well, it's actually
if you've seen a photo,
it's the original name.
as a tram depot, it was designed to look like a medieval castle with all those little
Yeah.
Alright.
turrets and
next
gunning.
is
How does a tram depot?
change here for Route 70, 75, the City Circle,
Yeah.
and services along Queen
Oh, yeah.
Street.
It's not English enough. It's a little English.
During work from 10 p.m.
In theatre
Friday,
world, and I've never
June 3rd
attended a
until
show
last
there,
and Tuesday,
as the
July
theatre
11th,
goes, the
buses
inside
will
is
replace
not a
central
good
road
theatre.
journeys.
We're
For
off
an
here.
uninterrupted journey,
Right, the
please
Opera
visit
House.
Are you coming up to RMIT or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's an RMIT student, remember?
Oh, right, okay.
And this is farewell to an RMIT icon, even if Floyd is not a drinker.
So what's happening with the place?
I can give you that story, yes. We've got 3 blocks. It'll never reopen. Already,
I discovered it. I don't know.
the reason is
That is an orange tram.
Yeah.
30 years ago it was student accommodation upstairs, and then that got condemned for fire safety or lack of safety reasons, and it was downstairs, but RMIT owns the building. Next move, the 2 upper floors that were condemned as student accommodation were being rebuilt as a base for graduate diploma or PhD students, and the access is from the new building that was built in the vacant lot alongside. So upstairs is part of just modern, it's not traditional pub at all. And that's access not even from downstairs, it's access from the adjacent buildings. So downstairs has been more leased, and the lessee has been evicted. He has to get all the fittings out within 3 weeks, and they'll never go back. So the best, that's going to become another facade pub in front of a new high-rise built by RMIT. Will never reopen as a
More
pub.
history lost. There's another pub down one of the side streets.
There's only 2 nearby pubs. Now the one that is frequented by students is the corner of Russell Street and Little Lonsdale. I've been there for drinks, it doesn't do meals. And the other young professionals I met tonight, the nearest 2 pubs are the Old Max in either Franklin Street or a Beckett Street.
Yes.
The Bluestone moment, it's now it's
yeah.
fake Irish now, it's no longer Max.
Yeah, I discovered that one recently too, just walking around the
And
city.
the other people to whom I spoke said our closest will be Queensbury Pub on the corner of Swanson and Queensbury.
Yes, up there.
So, and that's the closest.
Swanson and Queensbury, right, around the corner.
Well, it's on the corner.
Swanson and Queensbury.
I've had a drink there. but I've never had a meal there. But you see, there's nothing. All the classic city pubs have gone except this one on.
You turn right out of Swanston Street, following the one in, say the 8, but now the 6.
No, it's not O'Connell's. I know the one you mean. Yes, red brick.
Round past the uni.
Yes, you turn there and you turn right, and it has survived.
Yeah, you turn right out of
that's
the
not,
uni, and there's one on the right.
Yes,
The next stop is Holland
It's got a corner, of course.
Change here for route
That one.
11,
I'll take you to photograph
12,
the pubs.
48 and 109.
Have you joined Richard's group? Chaps. Richard Gilbert runs it.
Okay,
I contribute.
I'm on a Facebook group that does pubs and...
Oh, Facebook that does pubs. I'm on a Yahoo. No, I'm on. It's a forum. That's where my photos go. Look, you should really speak to Richard. Join Richard's group. It's not the. No, it's not a Facebook group. Richard's is a magazine only. I have a Yahoo group for it, but it's simply used as my Dropbox for sending material to Richard.
Okay.
It's got next to no members. I'm not locking anybody out, but it's not really intended as.
I've been doing some travels around country Victoria, photographing stuff.
Yeah.
I've got most of what Ballarat has.
Yep.
I think I've one or two more doing the right in Ballarat. Because some are the right sort of cloudy day, otherwise they crap photos.
I've got nearly all of Ballarat. Ballarat that's still open. The problem now for me is getting Ballarat that's closed.
Yeah, there's a few around Ballarat that I know work pubs, but aren't.
Well, there's that Port Chetters, for instance, on Drummond Street,
Yeah.
corner of Drummond Street, and
Drummond and Sturt.
now I've never been there as a pub. There's a couple.
I recognise there's been one.
Most of the ones which I
I'll
do.
be up and down past that pub all day, former pub, on Monday afternoon. Corner of Sturt and Grenville. God? Corner of Sturt and Grenville. It's turn left out of Sturt into Grenville. There's a building there looks like it was a pub.
You're probably right, I just don't know Grenville. I probably know it as a building.
Come down Sturt, okay, you come down Sturt Street, main street of Ballarat, down the hill, the those trams went straight ahead.
Yeah. I'm quite happy to. We're talking, you see. Okay. And we're getting out at Trams Street.
Thank you.
Yes, it's my job to know Ballarat. Couldn't do my job too well if I did now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the famous ones. And,
there was one in Bridge Street. I only know that from what I've seen in old photos.
Oh, there were heaps in Ballarat. It's funny.
There's so many ones. The Eureka pub is gone as such. Bridge Street.
Really find a place. You know it, of course, by the streets, and I don't. Now, there's the one that's gone through several names. It was the Signal. It's down on the corner of Mare Street and where the road goes under the arch. It's that corner. It's been at one stage the Signal.
The next
way up the top of Sturt Street.
No, way up the top everywhere. It's near the old signal boxes. Where the road. I just don't know the names of the streets.
Yes, the Peter Layla.
No, that's the opposite direction. I've had lunch in the Peter Layla.
That's due to way up at Victoria.
So is this? No, one more for us. One more. Right.